3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? My name's Jackson. I've never watched any soccer before, but I'm watching every single game in the World Cup, and we have finally made it to the knockout rounds of the World Cup. I am joined today by Josh, the Ear Cone, and Sorish, the Dr.Dey.
He's back.
And we are going to break down very quickly every single match of the tournament and make our predictions. How's that sound, guys?
Sounds great. I'm excited for these knockout rounds. This is where it really gets good, so I'm hyped.
Yeah, it's good. Some interesting matchups coming down the line.
Great.
All right, let's dive into it.
So the first matchup of the tournament, the only matchup happening today, is going to be South Africa versus Canada. South Africa was the first team I'd ever, watched. They played against Czechia, and they were pretty boring. Canada, I watched later that day, and they beat, I think, Qatar 0-6. Like, it was crazy. It was very chaotic. Who do you guys have for this match?
Source, you want to start us off?
It's a real head versus heart scenario. You know, the head, objectively, Canada is favored. But my heart, I'll be rooting for South Africa today. I think they did a good job against South Korea. They did a good job against Czechia. And I think that hopefully they'll be able to continue their World Cup run.
All right.
Jackson, what do you got?
I'm going to root for Canada today. I like our neighbors to the north, and I like their chances. I feel like they're probably not the strongest team in the tournament that I've seen, but certainly a stronger team than South Africa. It certainly feels like South Africa is kind of the underdog going into this match, but it's not a shot where it's like it's impossible for them to beat. I definitely think that they can win, but I think that I want Canada to win, so I'm going to vote that we move Canada through.
Yeah, I'll join you on that. I think it can definitely be an interesting game. And for reference, we're recording this before that game started today. I definitely would lean Canada, but it should be an interesting one. So we'll move Canada on. The next game is Netherlands against Morocco. This one should be super interesting.
Yeah, and the way that we're doing this is that, the three of us are going to vote on each of our predictions, and whichever prediction, is the winner of that, they're gonna go ahead and beat that prediction. So that's why we moved Canada forward, even though Source did say South Africa. But Source, I liked your prediction still, don't worry. Next up, Netherlands versus Morocco. And I'll go first this time, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I get a lot of hate for not picking the Dutch those first two matches I saw from them. And, I think that's really soured me on the Netherlands. And you guys know that I don't know that much about soccer. I don't watch it that much. I've watched every game in the World Cup, but that's all. And I know, though, that the Dutch are a very strong team. So I think that they might win, but because I'm rooting for the Dutch to lose, I'm going to go Morocco with the W.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you in picking Morocco. I think this can definitely be a close game. Could go to extra time, could go to penalties even. And I think whoever wins this game can make a deep run here. Morocco went pretty far in 2022. I think they've been great internationally over the past few years. Netherlands has a great defensive lineup there, but I trust Morocco a little more here. I think they pull through. They've been hot. I think they keep that up. Source, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the Netherlands would be the traditional favorites, but I think that Morocco's team has a lot of depth. They played very well in 2022. Their team is showing the same characteristics of strength this tournament. And so I'm going to say Morocco, both because I think that they have a sort of underrated depth of talent, and also because it would be deeply funny for the Dutch to lose. They are they're very well known as one of the teams that, I think they hold the record for making it to the World Cup finals the most times and always losing. So it would be very funny to see them go out in the first round of the knockout phase.
Great.
Yeah, and a lot of African teams here in the knockout round, so it'll be exciting to see how far some of these teams go.
Do they often not get in, the African teams?
Well, they expanded the World Cup, so there are more teams in the World Cup now.
Yeah, which is good choice, I feel like.
Yeah, so more teams in general move on, but a lot of really good African squads here.
Yeah.
So we'll move Morocco on to the next. Oh. Let's see here. There we go.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Next matchup, Germany versus Paraguay. And Josh, why don't you take this one away?
Yeah. Again, Germany's has been playing pretty solid. Very, very good team they have there. I would definitely the favorites coming into this, but Paraguay no slouches either. I'm gonna lean Germany here. It should be an interesting game. I'll let Sorsh take it in more detail though.
Doctor?
I always root against Paraguay. Not against Paraguay. I always root against Germany as a rule. But objectively, in this matchup, Germany is favored. So the objective prediction, Germany most likely moves through.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any heart on either of these teams, but personally, my vibe is here in Germany. So I'll go with Germany as well, and I think Germany will win by a large margin, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Moving on to France against Sweden. France has some tough games to make it far. Starting off with Sweden here, some great strikers they got. I do think France takes care of business though. They're so insanely talented across the board. I think Mbappe alone can carry a team, but he doesn't even need to on this squad with how much depth they have.
Yeah.
I'm going France here, but credit to Sweden, they've got some talent there, so not going to roll over too easily.
Doctor?
France, very locked in team. Dembele,
True.
Mbappe, just a very talented squad all around. They're gonna go far and they'll get through this round.
Yeah, I think with Mbappe and Dembele, like that's a hype team, and I really like Sweden. I think that they have very fun things that happen in their matches, but I think when you look at just like who's got the firepower, who's got the guns, it's got to be France, right? Like it has to be France, realistically. So I'm gonna go France as well. All right, moving on to Belgium versus Senegal. I'm tempted to say Belgium here, but Belgium, I feel like they not really earned it. Like I feel like from what I've seen of Belgium, people thought they would play better, and yet they've not. So I'm gonna go with Senegal because Senegal's, I feel like, played better than people thought they were gonna play.
Yeah, Senegal stuck in a tough group. They really pulled through at the end with the 5-0, 5-1 victory, whatever it was. I think they got some firepower, but I'm gonna pick Belgium here. So I think they just got more talent here. Could definitely go Senegal's way, but I'm gonna leave it in Sorsh's Dr. Dey's hands.
I think that the traditional favorites here would be Belgium, but I'm gonna say that this is gonna be one of the dark horse picks. I think Senegal, underestimated team, but a very talented team. And yeah, Belgium, I mean, they have a talented squad, but I just don't see them as playing. They weren't very locked in the group stage, and I think that Senegal with a strong performance can absolutely pull it through.
All right.
Great. So Senegal moving on.
Senegal here.
Dr. Dey, you want to talk about USA versus Bosnia?
Yeah. Well, Bosnia, they pulled it through in the last game of the group, but the United States just ultimately, I think, has shown a better run of form throughout this tournament. And I think that between that and the home field advantage, the U.S. is favored to move to the next round.
Yeah, I'm with him there. I think the USA got a pretty solid draw here. They've got to bounce back from a heartbreaking defeat last game. But I think they do it. I think this is the most talented USA squad we've seen in a while, at least as long as I've been watching them. And I definitely see them moving through here.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. I definitely liked watching Bosnia. They're actually one of my more favorite third place teams, and I wish they weren't playing against the U.S. because I would definitely root for them. But since they are playing against the U.S., like, I'm sorry, Bosnia, like, it's just not happening. I hope. Obviously, though, it might happen. I'm actually not convinced that it won't happen. I think they could win.
It could happen.
But I think that the U.S. is probably going to be overall stronger team, so I will also go with the U.S. Now, I did, disclaimer, make this, like, right before the end of Algeria versus Austria, which was crazy last night, by the way.
That was a crazy game.
That
last minute, 2 minutes, was crazy.
Crazy ending.
So it is going to be, I mean, like, imagine your first touch of the game being a header to save your team from elimination from World Cup. Like, that's crazy. Good for that guy. Spain versus Austria, though. I think that's where Austria's luck kind of runs away. Unfortunately, I think Spain is just going to probably dominate Austria based on everything that I've seen from the two teams. I don't think Spain's an unbeatable giant like I was hearing some people originally thought that they might be, but I do think that Spain is going to beat Austria.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Electric game they had against Algeria. Unfortunate for Iran how that all worked out.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Yeah, Spain too talented, too deep of a team. I think they're primed to make a deep run. Although we'll see soon in the round of 16. They'll have a tough matchup coming up.
Absolutely, Source.
Yep, Spain. They got the advantage. Very strong team.
All right, and then we got Portugal versus Croatia, and this is actually interesting because you have Ronaldo versus Modric, and they're both of them are kind of old,
Yeah.
One of them has
Both in their
abs,
40s.
the other one kind of looks like Rumpelstiltskin. But they both have a lot of heart. I think though, if I were just based on the 2 games I've watched of them, Modric is a lot less selfish. It's a lot less. It's about me. It's a lot more. I'm here for the team. Ronaldo though, and Portugal in general, I feel like is probably definitely a stronger team than Croatia. So I'm gonna pick Portugal, but I'm gonna be rooting for Croatia.
Yeah.
Doctor?
I'm gonna make one of the probably maybe the more unpopular choice here. Ronaldo, in the Ronaldo versus Messi conversation, they were maybe closer together a few years ago, but now you see with Ronaldo, his game was always much more dependent on physicality, and that's always something that drops off as you get older. And so I think age has gotten to him in a way that it hasn't for Messi, just because of their styles of play. On top of that, I haven't really seen the depth beyond Ronaldo from the Portuguese side. They did beat Uzbekistan, but Croatia is not Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan was a team that's very new to the World Cup, and all due respect to them, but they were kind of stuck in a mismatch. But I think that Croatia is a very strong side, very strong depth of players, and I just don't think Portugal's locked in the way that's going to be required. So I'm going to give my
in the position to break the tie here. There's a tough one. Coming into the tournament, I had very high hopes for Portugal. I thought they'd be they're one of the better squads coming in. They haven't sort of came in with that fire, with that juice that I was expecting. But I do think they get by here. Definitely could go either way, but I would give them the edge against Croatia. But don't think they're going to go too much further than that.
Although I will say I did like your take on that day. Like I feel like that could definitely be the case.
Definitely could definitely go either way here. And Croatia has had some deep World Cup runs of their own lately as well.
What the heck is going on? There we go. It came right at the end.
There we go. All right.
So moving on to the other side over here. And by the way, I think I attached the semifinals wrong. It's actually this versus that and that versus that.
We'll fix it.
We'll fix it later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later.
This is fine.
Yeah.
Brazil versus Japan I'm just gonna come out and say it, and then I'll explain. I think Japan is gonna win. I know that Brazil has that history of winning the World Cup. I know that Brazil, is a good team, but I don't think that Japan's a bad team. I think that Japan is. It's not like it would be. It's not like it's Argentina versus Cape Verde. Like I think that Japan has a chance to beat Brazil, and so I'm gonna pick Japan.
Well, I think this is a very tough round of 32 matchup for Brazil. But I do think they get by. I think Vinny Jr. has had an insane run so far. We'll see if Neymar gets healthier, comes into play at all here. But I think regardless, I think Brazil is primed for a deep run, but they could be stopped short here definitely. But I will pick Brazil. I think they push through.
I'm gonna have to agree with Josh on that one. Brazil, just very big depth of talent, and I think we've gotten some slightly disappointing performances in recent World Cups, but there's a very deep roster of talent in their team, and I think they've just got the edge against Japan. Japan's got a good team, but I think Brazil is they're just up that level.
All right, that's fair enough. I definitely can see Brazil probably winning. All right, Ivory Coast versus Norway. Dr.Dey.
Norway. Erling Haaland has been on fire. Really just for the last few years, not even just about this World Cup. He
knows how to score.
He's really good. He's a strong player. He's a fast player. He's very talented. The team has been performing well all around. I think that they're going to have what it takes. Ivory Coast, they are a regular appearer at the World Cup. They know what's going on, but I think that just this year, this Norway squad, their attacking strength, I think it's just going to be too much.
I'm actually gonna take the maybe, I don't know, but maybe slight upset here. I'm gonna go with the Ivory Coast. I really don't like how Norway sort of ceded that game to France at the end of the group stage. Holland has been electric, but Ivory Coast has held their own so far, and I think they've got the talent to compete. I think they go through here.
Yeah, Ivory Coast has a lot of strong players in the sense of they're physically strong. They're physically fat. Like Ivory Coast, I feel like I watch them and I'm like, those are big motherfuckers out there. Holland is like a big motherfucker, but it's in terms of who kind of has the stronger warriors like per capita, I think it is Ivory Coast. That being said, I feel like Norway plays a little bit better soccer, a little bit better football, if you will, and they should name it that. And so I'm gonna pick Norway, but
Alrighty.
I do think Ivory Coast could definitely just kill Norway potentially.
Alrighty, moving on to Mexico against Ecuador.
Josh.
This is an interesting matchup here. Mexico, on their home soil, they've come out hot in the group stage. Ecuador, a team I didn't expect to make it to the knockout round, has performed pretty well. Their defense has held very solidly. I'm gonna give the edge to Mexico here. That home field advantage. They've just been come out big firing on all cylinders here. I would give them the edge. I think they could make an interesting run here.
I would traditionally, without everything else in the group stages that happened, I would give it to Mexico just as an overall better team. And when you look at the group stage, strong performance for Mexico. Meanwhile, Ecuador against Curacao, that was the most unserious performance I have seen of any team at this tournament. That was ridiculous. Against Germany, they did manage to win, but it was like they were playing against a German team that was basically half not trying. They were already through, and even still, the Ecuadorians were struggling to get the ball in the net and then to protect the lead. So I just don't see them as being in. I see them as being in that weaker position against Mexico. So I think Mexico is definitely in the driver's seat there.
Yeah, I'm gonna root for the home team. I love Mexico's crowd. Also, I love that stadium in Guadalajara. I love.
Electric.
It is. It's so nice. I like the whole energy surrounding the Mexican team. I think Mexico has not. No. They had. Never mind. But Mexico's hype. I'm gonna pick Mexico.
Cool. Next matchup, we have England against the DRC.
I'm gonna pick England because I wouldn't have until yesterday when they broke that Ghanaian curse. I legitimately think that they did curse Harry Kane because he could not score a goal until someone else from his team scored a goal. And once that happened, literally 5 minutes later, Harry Kane scored a goal. So good job, Harry Kane, for breaking that curse. You have to wonder, did he think he was cursed? Because yesterday in that game, he was coming miraculously short of making goals over and over and over again. And so I think he probably was cursed. But now that he's not cursed, now that he's broken the curse, I don't think Congo really stands a chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna go England as well. I think we'll see later whether they can get over that bigger hump or not. But I think their talent takes them pretty easily over the edge here. Bellingham, Kane, great all around team. I think they breeze by here.
I think the advantage is to England. I will be rooting for Congo though, and I think that they've been performing well, and I think they will. They'll be a tougher matchup than I think some are expecting.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they will be tough because
we'll see.
They beat up Uzbekistan yesterday. Like, it was crazy. Anyway,
All right. Switzerland against
Algeria.
Sorry,
Algeria. It was just before that game had happened. So there's no flag, but also I'm picking Switzerland. So that's my pick. I'm not going to explain it any more than that, but I'm picking Switzerland.
Doctor?
I'm going to say Algeria's got a strong team. They've been playing well. I'll give it to them.
Interesting. This is a tough one. Crazy match from Algeria, but I like what I've seen out of Switzerland. I would give them the slight edge here, but definitely could go either way. So I think that's two of us on Switzerland's side.
I believe so.
All right, we got Colombia against Ghana.
And I did spell it right, by
Yes.
the way. So good job, me.
Good work.
Source?
Ghana. I mean, they're doing well. Colombia's also a good team, but I think just Ghana playing well.
Wow.
They got the actual doctor on their side. So.
Well, that's exactly why I'm picking Colombia and rooting for Colombia, because I think I am very superstitious. I definitely believe the curses are real, and I don't think that that's something to be played around with. And I think that wishing evil upon anybody over a game where you score a ball into a net and then you play pretend hurt is insane. I think that's so fucked. I think that's terrible karma. I think that karma is going to come bite Ghana in the butt. And I think Colombia is going to win. And beyond that, I think that Colombia is a really good team. And so I think Colombia's going to win also. But also bad karma, Ghana.
Yeah. I could see Ghana winning here, but I'm going to go with Colombia. I think they're just a more talented team. Maybe some of that curse comes into play. Luis Diaz, very, very talented player, and Colombia's come out to play here. Maybe mixed performance last game against Portugal, but I think they take care of business here.
Great.
So we'll have Colombia moving on, but definitely could go either way.
All right. Australia versus Egypt.
I can start us off. I'm going to be taking Egypt here. I think this could be an interesting close game as well. But I like what I've seen recently out of Egypt. Crazy group that they were in. When those two games were going at the same time, the order rankings were changing for those teams every few minutes with the goals being scored. I like what I've seen out of Mo Salah, and I think I'm gonna put Egypt through here. But we'll see what y'all think.
Yeah, I'll give it to Egypt. Strong team. Mo Salah, he's locked in. They'll probably get it done.
When Australia was playing the U.S., they put in like halfway through a guy named like Makumba or something. You know what I'm talking about? Mankumba? I don't know. Anyway, he's crazy. He's so fast. He's so strong. He's aggressive. They love him in Australia. And I don't think that'll be enough to beat Egypt. I think Egypt is probably the better team. I think that I have watched Egypt play and I felt like they're stronger than Australia. I don't know for a fact. I've only watched 2 of their games each. But I just want to say, like, Australia is not without any weapons in that game. So I don't think it's an open and shut case.
Yeah, definitely not. But moving on to Argentina and Cape Verde. Cape Verde, one of the most interesting stories of the World Cup. But Argentina on the other side, the interesting story of their own. See if they can come back and repeat. What do you guys think?
Objectively, edge goes to Argentina. At the same time, I think it'll be very interesting. It's very unfortunate for Cape Verde. They actually played well enough to get second in their group, and then they got drawn in with the defending champions. Kind of a twisted turn of fate. Their goalkeeper, he's playing for his life for sure. Between DePaul, McAllister, Messi, he's gonna be fighting for his life. But yeah, edge to Argentina, but I think Cape Verde can make it interesting.
Josh?
Yeah, it's a similar mindset here. Cape Verde's been such a fun team to watch. Again, their goalkeeper has been amazing. And the fact they've fielded such a solid team with how small of a country they are, it's just been cool to see. But I think this is where their luck runs out. I think Argentina is just too talented.
Yeah, wouldn't it be so cool, though, if Cape Verde wins? Like, I know we all love Messi. I know he's the GOAT, but I don't have that attachment to Messi. I do understand that he's the GOAT, though. So wouldn't it be so cool if, like, probably the number 32 underdog, even though they finished second in their group, like, in my head, and I feel like in probably a lot of people's heads, they're the number 32 going against the number 1. Like, wouldn't that be cool if they won? I think Argentina will win, but it would be cool.
Yeah, it would be a cool story. But moving on to the round of 16 here, we'll try to move through these a little quicker since we got some baseline stuff for each of these teams. Canada against Morocco, what do we got?
I got Canada. I'm rooting for Canada. I'm going to pick Canada. I don't know if it's a smart prediction, but I'm going to root for Canada.
I'm rooting for Canada, but in terms of which team's favored, Morocco.
Yeah.
They have the edge.
I'm going Morocco here, and I think whoever wins that Netherlands-Morocco game is moving to the quarterfinal here in this sort of quartet, this group.
Yeah, probably. But my heart is with Canada. All right, moving on to Germany versus France.
It's a tough round of 16 matchup for both these teams.
But how do you go against Mbappe and Dembele? You know, like, I feel like that's 2 scary guys on the same team, and it's not like one is like killing the aura of the other. So I gotta go France.
Yeah, I mean, these are two of the best teams in Europe. Again, I always root against Germany, and that makes it easy for me. France.
Yep, France for me as well. Next game is Senegal against USA.
I think if that's a match that ends up happening, I feel like that's pretty favorable for the U.S. Like, I feel like Senegal is a good team. They've played good, but I don't know if they're like, I mean, depending on how the U.S. comes into it, I have heard the U.S. likes to choke. But if the U.S. is on their A game, I don't think it's going to be easy for Senegal at all. So I'm going to pick the U.S.
Doctor?
I'm gonna give it to Senegal. The U.S. crashes and burns in the round of 16. Usually in the first round of the knockout phase, but that's not the round of 16 anymore. I don't see the U.S. getting through more than 2 rounds of knockout soccer or knockout football. Yeah, this is where their luck runs out.
Yeah, I think I would lean in that direction as well. Unfortunately, definitely rooting for the USA. Them making the quarterfinal would be awesome. The vibes would be so high, but I like what I've seen from Senegal. They their first 2 games they lost, but they had extremely tough matchups against France and Norway. When they played a sort of a lower caliber team, they showed what they got. And I do think I would give them the slight edge here. But again, this would be anyone's match. It would be interesting to see.
All right, we'll see. I think that you guys are wrong. I'm also really biased, of course.
I hope I'm wrong.
I'm just the American watching soccer for the first time.
Next up, we have Spain against Portugal.
Oh, that's a historical matchup, realistically. I don't know how often this happens, but the history here between the actual countries of Spain and Portugal, their age-old rivalry, I'm going to go Spain, though. I'm going to go Spain because I feel like if Portugal makes it this far, I feel like that's luck. I don't feel like they're super hot right now. So I'm going to go Spain.
Doctor?
Yep, Spain, better team.
Yeah, I think Portugal will give them a little run for their money, but Spain's just too talented to go out this early. But we'll move them on, and then the next game is Brazil against Norway.
I think that this is a really tricky matchup here, Norway and Brazil. I feel like I want to pick Norway because I really like Holland's vibe. But I feel like Brazil's calling my name, so I'm going to pick Brazil.
I'll join you there. I think Brazil is really primed for a good run here.
Yep, Brazil has the edge.
All right. Next up, we got Mexico, England.
Jeez. I'm going Mexico.
Yeah, it's like the exact kind of game that England would choke. I'm gonna give it to Mexico.
England, notorious chokers. I'll say England here, but the majority is Mexico, and I can definitely see that happening.
Yeah, and I mean Mexico's been kind of on fire,
They have.
England has been notably not on fire. So.
Yeah. Alrighty. Switzerland against Colombia.
Dey?
I'll give it to the Colombians team. I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, I'll go Colombia as well. I like what I've seen out of them. I think that if they win their first game, I think they take care of it here.
I'll also go Colombia. I like the Colombians.
Nice. Alrighty. We got Egypt, Argentina.
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 I don't care about the Egypt the same way I care about the Cape Verde. I'm gonna say Argentina. I think if Argentina beats Cape Verde, who's stopping Argentina? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they've just got too much firepower, and Messi's been on a roll, so I think they got this one.
No offense to Big Mo, though.
No. So moving to the quarterfinal here. First matchup is Morocco against France.
I actually feel like this is maybe a France kind of blowout if this is the match. I think that France is better than Morocco, but I mean I might just end up picking France the whole way through, realistically, based on how I feel about France.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
Doctor?
France.
I think I'm gonna go with France here, but I would not be shocked if Morocco takes. They've got a very talented squad. I think they may surprise some people, but prediction, gotta go with France.
Okay. And this, if you're looking at the graphic, is where the lines start being messed up. The line actually goes down to whatever the other team is.
Yeah. Let's fix this.
There we are.
Here, you can.
So the next match, Source, while Josh fixes this, is Senegal versus Spain. Who you got?
Spain. Yep, they're gonna have the edge there.
Yeah, I think that Spain would probably beat Senegal as well. I think even if my U.S. prediction was correct, Spain would also beat the U.S. I think that Spain's probably moving on to that semifinal.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty favorable draw for Spain. I think they're just too talented here in this matchup. And then we got Brazil against Mexico.
Ooh, I gotta go Mexico, but I feel like it depends on how Brazil's playing. I think Brazil's another one of those teams where it's like sometimes I'm feeling them play and it's like, whoa. Sometimes I'm seeing them play, I'm like, And I feel like Mexico, I've seen them play, I'm like, good job, Mexico. Hype.
Yeah, I think it's Mexico. I think this is they got it. They got it this year.
I'm going Brazil here. I really like the way their team's put together. I feel like this could be their year. But you said
Mexico, yeah.
Mexico. So we'll have them moving on. But I think this one could go either way.
It's really hard to beat also a home team advantage, especially when the home team is like killing.
That is true. That'll help them for sure. Then we got Argentina and Colombia.
Well, didn't we see this already? Colombia and Argentina? No, we
saw Argentina and Egypt last round.
No, but I mean, it's okay. It doesn't matter. I think Argentina's going to win.
Yep, Argentina.
Yeah, I think they make a deep run here. So, on to the semifinals. We got France against Spain, Mexico against Argentina. Nowhere to hide once you get this far. We'll start with the first one, Spain and France.
France, okay. Josh?
It's a tough one. These are coming into the teams that people would say are two of the top favorite teams here, but I'll lean France as well. You know, they've shown the history of getting far in the World Cup in recent years, and I think they keep that up.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with France as well. I think that France has just got too much firepower right now.
Alrighty, and then we have Mexico against Argentina.
I think this is the end of that really hype run for Mexico, probably.
Yep, I agree. This is Argentina's.
Agreed. So that gives us a rematch of the 2022 World Cup final, France against Argentina.
Last time Argentina won?
Yes, Argentina won last time. Do you think we get the same result? Do you think France comes away with their second and third 3 World Cups? What do we think happens
Did France still have Dembele and Mbappe?
Yes, but Dembele was not at the same level he is.
Right.
He is now. He's taking a step up, but they had a talented team though.
And
that game went to penalties, so
okay.
it was a tight one.
Soros?
I think Argentina's favored in that game. Yeah, I mean, France has a strong attack, but they had a strong attack in 2022. They put 3 goals in the net, but still lost.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with history here and the fact that it is extremely rare for a team to repeat. So I'm gonna go with that on my side, and I'm gonna take France here. But this would be an entertaining matchup, a fun storyline. But that leaves the tiebreaker to you.
Yeah, I think I might have picked differently if I hadn't known those couple details you guys gave me of a couple things. Number one, Dembele's stepping up. You know, that's one thing for Dembele. Number two, Messi, I feel like everyone says he hasn't lost a step, but there is a difference between being 36 and being 40 in any sport. And then number three, regardless of any of that, historically, if it's hard to win back-to-back World Cups, that just makes sense. If Mbappe and Dembele have both matured since their last meeting with Messi, who's gotten older, I feel like it would make sense to pick France. And so therefore, I'm going to pick France as the winner.
Alrighty.
And that is our bracketology bracket video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do you agree with us? Do you think I'm right? Do you think that Source is right? Why are you looking at Josh's ears? These are the questions we want to know. We want to hear what you think. Big win to France. Source, you got anything to leave off on?
Good bracket, realistic bracket. Could happen.
Josh?
Yeah, I like it. I like how I put this together. We'll see how it shakes out.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later today for my breakdown of the only game of the day, South Africa versus Canada, which we're actually a couple minutes late to watch. So this will be the end of that. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.